Good Tuesday afternoon to you. Thank you for joining us on KARE 11 News Now. I'm Rena Sargentopoulos. Let's get right to your headlines. Charges are expected today for the suspect involved in a standoff at United Healthcare's Minnetonka headquarters. Police tell us a 26-year-old man arrived on the campus yesterday morning and allegedly called the local FBI field office, threatening the campus if his demands were not met. Police didn't specify what the demands were, but said they don't believe he had specific grievances against United Healthcare. Minnetonka police say an FBI negotiator got him to surrender after about 45 minutes, and investigators say they did recover a gun at the scene. Happening right now, voters in Minnesota Senate District 6 are headed to the polls for a special Republican primary. 8 GOP candidates are vying to replace former Senator Justin Eichhorn, who resigned last month. The winner will face Democrat Denise Slipey in the April 29th special election. District 6 covers parts of Cass, Crow Wing, and Itasca counties. The polls will be open until 8 o'clock tonight. Violent crime in North Minneapolis has fallen to pre-pandemic levels, and law enforcement leaders say a focus on Minneapolis street gangs is a big reason why. Lou Raguse sat in on the second major RICO trial and explains how federal prosecutors are approaching gangs like the mafia.
These three men, Dantrell Johnson, Gregory Hamilton, and Keon Pruitt, are allegedly members of the Highs Street Gang, which claims territory in Minneapolis north of West Broadway and feuds with rival members of the Lowe's Gang, whose territory is south of West Broadway. In their federal trial for RICO, prosecutors are showing the jury evidence of drug trafficking and murder they argue these defendants committed for the benefit of their gang. For example, a Highs gang member was murdered outside the Winter gas station, a Highs hangout, in August 2021. At a memorial that grew, prosecutors say the three defendants and others plotted revenge. The jury saw this footage of the defendants the next day finding Darrell Wells, who they thought was the killer, at Skyline Market, a Lowe's hangout. Prosecutors told the jury these images show the defendants chasing Wells outside and murdering him in the street as retaliation. And as it turned out, the prosecution says Wells was not even affiliated with a gang. Highs member Jovan Knight, who's already pleaded guilty to RICO, testified about that shooting and others to help prosecutors. But his cross-examination helped the defense when he said the Highs are loosely organized without leaders.
These gang members behave just like traditional mob members.
After former U.S. Attorney Andy Lugar initiated the strategy to charge street gang members with RICO, the law that was used to take down the mob, crime stats show violence in North Minneapolis has dropped to within pre-pandemic levels.
So that is evidence that this strategy is working.
MPD Chief Brian O'Hara and others credit the RICO charges.
These three defendants are already serving the next 19 years in prison after being convicted in state court. If they're convicted in federal court here, they could face up to life. Back to you.
Heads up if you've rented a car through Hertz recently. The company is telling customers about a data breach of their personal information. The breach happened last year, and Hertz says hackers may have gained access to credit card, driver's license, even social security and passport numbers. Hertz says the breach is against one of its vendors, a software firm called Clio Communications. Hertz says its own network was not impacted. Developing now, President Trump signaling that he will impose tariffs on pharmaceutical drugs and semiconductor chips from China, and some of the world's biggest ports are expecting an economic impact. NBC's Steve Patterson has more from Los Angeles.
Yeah, there's a broad sense of uncertainty, you would say, in the water at these two major ports here in Southern California, the Port of Long Beach, the Port of LA, right next to each other. Both of them extremely worried about what's next because of these tariffs. About half the business, imports and exports, between the two ports is from China. So if the tariffs stay in place, both the ports are projecting anywhere from a 10 to 20% reduction in the amount of cargo that comes through, which is going to mean a reduction in hours for a lot of the suppliers, a lot of the people running the terminals here. It also will likely mean a reduction of jobs. They simply can't sustain with that level of reduction of cargo that comes through. So we've spoken to small business owners. Guess what? That also means a lot of the longshoremen that come in will stop coming in, a reduction in business for them. About 70 to 80% of their business relies on the people who work these ports. But more to the point, it really means that we don't know what's going to happen next, which is creating a lot of fear for the port CEOs here who really count on this cargo coming through, which is about 40% of the total cargo that comes into the nation in the first place. Back to you.
It is April 15th, otherwise known as Tax Day, the deadline to get federal income tax returns sent to the Internal Revenue Service. While a majority of U.S. taxpayers have already taken care of matters with the tax man, roughly 101 million people have yet to do so. There are some exceptions. Businesses and residents in 7 disaster-stricken states have been given extensions. Taxpayers are advised to file electronically if possible. The Taxpayer Advocate Service says that's usually safer and faster than dropping it in the mail. A new warning today from the FDA about fake Ozempic floating around in the supply chain. Here's a photo of several hundred units of counterfeit drugs that have been seized, at least the serial number anyway. All of the fake medications are labeled with this lot number, so check your drugs. The FDA says that they are aware of 6 adverse reports linked to the lot. However, none appear to be linked to the counterfeit products.
With the first pick in the 2025 WNBA draft, the Dallas Wings select Paige Bueckers, University of Connecticut.
Well, we knew it was coming, but it is now official. Hopkins native Paige Bueckers headed to Dallas as the #1 pick in the WNBA draft, something no other Minnesotan has ever done before. And of course, it's all happening in a crazy month since winning a national championship. But before the nation knew of her talent, a local sports lover spotted it and made a very accurate prediction. Sports director Reggie Wilson sat down with him.
Paige Bueckers did it.
The final page in the book of Bueckers is title number 12 for UConn.
She capped a decorated 5-year career at UConn with the national championship. Now she's projected to be the #1 overall pick in the WNBA draft. And you could say,
explain your background with basketball.
I'm just a gym rat.
One man,
I played in high school. I got into college, but I didn't stick with it.
Saw it all coming.
Without a doubt.
Gary Knox is a self-proclaimed hoops fanatic.
I think if you add up the hours, I've pretty much spent half my life in the gym.
Wow.
Whether it's playing basketball, watching basketball.
He's also a decorated, award-winning photojournalist at KARE 11.
Here, after all these years, I thought I was going to be known for my storytelling and photography.
You still known for that too.
But now I'm known for a tweet with Paige Bueckers in the 6th grade.
Yes, this now viral tweet from 2013.
I was there watching my daughter, who played for Hopkins. I believe she was a junior or senior at the time, and Paige was in 6th grade. There was a buzz in the gym. Said, "Hey, have you seen that 6th grader?" Like, what 6th grader? They said, "Oh, she's over there on the freshman court." So as soon as I went over, it's like, boom, I knew who it was right away. And you go see like a prodigy playing Mozart or playing some kind of symphony, and then they just stand out. That's how I was. It's like Paige Bueckers on the court looking like an adult.
The tweet has been shared thousands of times and aggregated even more than that.
It wasn't until a freshman year at UConn and the Final Four when it blew up. I was on my phone, and all of a sudden I kept getting these notifications. Just kept going. It's like, what's going on? Oh, it's this tweet that I tweeted in 2013.
Do you play the lottery? Because, like, you nailed this one.
It's funny that you mentioned, because a lot of people have been hitting me up. Hey, could you pick the lottery for me? But the lottery, you have to, predict it. With Paige, it was a foregone conclusion.
So what more can she accomplish?
She has come through so much adversity and the injuries to prove you right with her success.
Yeah.
You got any other bold predictions on her career as she transitions to the next level?
That she'll be doing the same thing she did in high school in the 6th grade in the WNBA. She's out there playing chess while everybody else playing checkers.
So you think hoisting a trophy is in her future then again?
Oh, absolutely.
Great photojournalist, basketball predictor, and all-around excellent human, Gary Knox. All right, travelers, listen up. American Airlines says it will begin offering free Wi-Fi services next January. The service will be available for members of its Advantage loyalty program. The move follows similar initiatives by other airlines, including JetBlue, Delta, and United Airlines. Currently, American Airlines in-flight Wi-Fi routinely tops $20 per flight. The carrier said that starting in January, the free service will be available on about 90% of its fleet. Stick with us. More news and weather coming up after the break.